Welcome back, guys. I want to add something what I forgot to mention in the video I made about the purpose of relationships in our life. When I was coming back home, the question arisen in my mind, and I thought probably you would have the same question. So the question was that, okay, if I am conscious in that relationship, consciously I choose to enter that relationship, and I am consciously learning from that relationship, and I'm developing those parts of myself that are not developed through the help of that relationship. And when I'm done with that development, when the purpose is served, what's then, right? Logical question. So what does it mean? Should we separate, go our own ways, and find then other people, whether it's romantic, whether it's friends, whether it's business partnership? What's then? And I couldn't come to one answer. Probably there is no one answer. It depends on each situation and each willingness and capacity to sustain the relationship even when the mission is done and complete, when the task is done. So I would say, first scenario, that yes, when the mission is done, when those parts of self are developed, it might mean, and it might even feel, that it's time to leave, that there is nothing more left what to learn from one another. While another scenario can be still choosing to stay in that relationship even though those parts of self are already developed. So it means if those parts of self are already developed, so for example, if I was in the relationship with somebody and I learned from that person, I developed those skills within myself, and it means that I became more similar to that person, whether it's friend, whether it's a romantic partner. So then it depends on those two people in the relationship. Are they able, are they capable, and are they willing to embrace each other like a mirror, like being the same? Can they cooperate and coexist together, being the same, having the same developed parts? Or will it become like competition between each other? Who is better? Who knows more? Who does better? So it depends on, I would say, on the level of maturity, whether both parties can sustain that relationship, can embrace one another, or it's better for each of people, or if it's better for the sake of the growth of two people to go separate ways. And when it comes to romantic relationships, because I sense a little bit difference between friendships in this situation and romantic relationships. With the friendships, is it possible to sustain relationship even when you become the same, basically, with the same characteristics, the same skills, the same even mindset probably? Can you still be in one space and not compete with each other? It depends on the level of ego, I would say. And with a romantic partnership, when we balance each other out, when we learn from each other along the course of our romantic relationship, we kind of also become the same version of each other. And you can see there's nothing more left to learn, right? What still could be true, but then there is a choice. You're being met with a choice. What are you going to do about with it? Because from that space, I see that actually the same with the friendships. From that space, actually you can choose to create something big and beautiful. Because you both are good in both skills, on both scales you are equal. Maybe sometimes, time after time, you go more down with one side of yourself, then the other one balances you out by bringing their own set of skills. Like, we tend to forget people, yeah? What we learned. So it's kind of a reminder. But when basically we become the same, I would say we still can maintain that relationship, and from that space we can create huge, beautiful things for more people, for the collective, for the community. So basically it's just a matter of choice and a matter of the level of ego and your choice and your needs, actually. If you feel that that's it, there is nothing else what to learn, and if it becomes more as a struggle to maintain the relationship, probably it's a message that it's time to leave. Who knows, maybe forever, maybe just to have a break from one another, just to realize that no, you want to stay together. But there is no one answer. There is no one answer. And by staying conscious about the situation, you can make a conscious decision. And it will never be wrong, because either way you will learn. For now, that's it. See you in next topics. Another interesting thing I forgot to mention in regards to the first video about the purpose of relationships in our life is the reason why relationships break up and people go their separate ways. One of reasons what I see is when one person in that relationship is learning and growing and is conscious what they had to learn from that relationship, what the experience they had to get from that relationship, and another person is not so conscious and they never saw from that perspective, okay, what should I learn from that relationship? What that relationship is telling about me, about the parts of me, which part of me is not developed yet. And if that person was not conscious and they didn't learn the lesson, then the disconnection will happen naturally, because that blame game will start happening. You're not like me, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, or you did it in a wrong way. It's not like I would do in the relationship. It's not like I am doing things in my life. instead of saying, okay, maybe that's what I need to learn, integrate in my own experience, in the way I'm doing things. Maybe I need to try his or her way and see what comes out of it. So when a person is not conscious about their own part in the relationship, while another one is conscious, this connection will happen naturally. Then the person who learned what they need to learn, they will not feel like choosing to stay in the relationship where the other one is not growing. So on a vibrational, energetic level, what will happen that, let's say like that, two people meet. At the beginning, they're equal. One has one set of strengths that are the weaknesses of this person, and this person has another set of strengths that are weaknesses of this person, because those are underdeveloped, right? So let's say this person is conscious in the relationship, and he or she is learning consciously from this experience in the relationship. So they will be learning, they will be developing those skills that before meeting that person were not developed, and they will grow, and the other person will stay stuck. They will stay the same as they entered the relationship, before they entered. So look what happens naturally, right? The vibration of the energy of the person who is learning is getting higher. And what happens? The gap, energetic gap happens, and they no longer resonate with each other. They no longer are a match to one another. So basically now I'm answering my question that I talked about in the previous video. Should we stay or should we go in the relationship when we learn our lesson? So for me now it looks that if the other person is not learning and you're learning, time to leave when everything is learned. But if that person is also learning together with you, like this, like that, sometimes one is learning faster, another is catching up, then another is learning faster, right? So it's like they are still growing together and they are still balancing each other, because there is no limits for growth, there is no limits for expansion, there are no limits for developing oneself. So for example, if one person is more grounded, more practical, more rational, more mental, and less emotionally expressive, while another one is more emotionally expressive, is more sensitive, is more about mysticism, less about practicality. So when that person learns their own craft more, what they are the best at, for example, about spirituality, about intuition, about creativity, they will improve also that skill because that's their passion. So that person will have opportunity in that relationship to catch up to what this person learned additionally. So yeah, that's what I'm already answering myself the question before. So basically, yeah, then he or she will need to catch up to learn more from that person, while this person will have the same task to learn from that person whose passion is practicality, rationality, 3D world, management, self-management. So they will also improve in that field. So they will have an opportunity to learn from them and catch them up. So basically what important is in the dynamic of the relationship, that each person grows individually in those parts that they are good at as well, what they're passionate about, basically what they're passionate about. If they are still keep growing in that sector of their life, there will always be a space for that relationship with another person to exist. There will always be a space to coexist with each other. But it's important that people grow in both ways, in what they are passionate about already, in their strengths. They can always strengthen their strengths, while also strengthening their weakness through another person. So if both people are growing in both sides of themselves, there will always be space, time, opportunity to maintain and sustain that relationship. But if one of people in that relationship is not growing, at least in one part they are not growing. For example, if they are growing only in what they know and they want to improve even more, but they are rejecting that part that never has, I will give you an example, the best way how I can explain. If one person is more business oriented and it's his, let's say, his passion, business, practicality, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to organize ourselves, we need to be self-disciplined, and another person is more emotional, more into spirituality, more into their feelings, and they're missing that self-discipline. And if that's more spiritual person, spiritually oriented person, more spiritually aware person, I would say, if they are aware that that's what they need to learn, that practicality and self-discipline, and they're learning from that person, and the business oriented person is growing only in their business but not in that spiritual side of them as well, then this balance will happen, then this connection will happen. Okay guys, I hope you understood what I wanted to say. Sometimes I see the vision in my mind's eye, and I'm trying to find the proper words and sequence of words to explain what I see. I hope you were able to see the same what I saw. So for now, this is it, and we'll see if I'm gonna have more epiphany moments. I will share with you. Anyway, see you around.